Setting up the wrong business address can cost you more than just having a wrong setup on a piece of paper. It can cost you funding, contracts, deals, projects, and even potential partnerships. In this video, I want to share with you what I recently shared with a group of clients that were struggling to set up their business properly, all because of one thing, and that was their business address. Here's what most entrepreneurs do. And by the way, this is whether you are an LLC owner, sole proprietor, S Corp, C Corp. I see it like anytime that I bring on a client and we're helping them fix this, I see this as clear as day. They think that they can just use a virtual office address and it's going to magically fix all of their problems. And that couldn't be further from the truth. You see, a virtual office address, when it's set up incorrectly, it's going to do two things to the business. Number one, it's going to make the business look like it's not properly structured or not properly set up to open up something as simple as a business bank account, by the way. Or if you're trying to apply for a business line of credit, a business credit card, or if you're just trying to set up your business checking, even if you're trying to set up your business credit profile, because the address at baseline level isn't set up in a way that's congruent for the business. And the second thing that it does, it makes your business look like it's amateur hour, meaning whenever a creditor or a vendor or even a potential trade line, like you want to get a trade line added to your account, they look at your business, they say, wait a minute, this is a virtual office address. This isn't a legitimate business location. And so I want to spare you from going down that path, because I see legit business owners that are running legitimate operations just because of this one thing, they're getting shot down. And so I don't want that to be you. So I'll share with you what I shared with my clients. Now, before I do, I want to share with you two other types of addresses that you can use on your business if you haven't done so already. Now, one of them, a lot of people, for whatever reason, tend to shy away from it for whatever reason. But when it's done correctly, you can still leverage it. The first type of business address that you can use that's not just a virtual office address is going to be a physical brick and mortar location. Now, these to me, again, when they're done properly, are ironclad. Reason for that is because if you're setting up maybe a flower shop, or if you have a brick and mortar like a gym, or if you have a brick and mortar like maybe a cupcake store or even a coffee shop, and it's set up in a brick and mortar spot, well, guess what? You'll use that address when you're applying for business credit lines. You'll use that address when you are setting up maybe your next business venture or your next business partnership, I should say. You'll use that address when you're setting up to build up your business credit profiles, because all that data that's extracting is being extracted from that address. The second type of address that you can use is going to be a home office address. Now, I want to specifically say that if you have a home address, you can still use it to scale your business capital. You can still use it to legitimately run your operations. But here's the main thing that you want to pay attention to. Banks, financial institutions, and even some of the credit reporting agencies, they're going to take a look at your address, if it's a home address, and then they're going to take a look at three things. Number one is this an actual business that can operate from your house? So that'll be the first question that you have to ask yourself. And by the way, this is going to vary state by state. This will also go to vary by industry. A little too long to get into this video. One of the things that we help our clients troubleshoot in real time before we actually have them swap it out if they need to. In most instances, you could probably just ride with your home office address, even though I know that that is contrary to popular belief. The second thing that you'd want to pay attention to is, if you are going to use your home office address, is, are you okay with having your personal information out there? This is one of the biggest reasons why people either get a virtual office address, a registered agent, they use a registered agent, or they get a brick and mortar location, because there's some instances where maybe you don't want your personal address being out there. And guess what? If you're setting up your business, so I'm in Florida, anyone can look up your business in the state of Florida, assuming we haven't done, any of these crazy enhanced techniques to maybe take care of your anonymity, whereas like you're blocking some of your personal information, assuming it's just bare bones. Hey, Irv, I just want to get my LLC off the ground and I want to start producing revenue. Well, guess what? At the baseline level, that's going to be public information. So if you're not okay with people taking a look at your home address being the business address, then maybe the home office address isn't for you. And the third thing you want to pay attention to is, like I said earlier, is the type of address that you're using actually congruent for your line of work. Meaning, if you are legitimately running a gym from your garage, I had a client that was doing that. He said, I don't mind having my home office address or my home address out there as a home office address, or in this case, as a gym, assuming you have the licenses ready to go and you have all the prerequisites that are needed to run that business out of your garage or out of your residence. If maybe you don't have, because I also had another instance where we had a client, He was running an auto shop. And for his specific state in his region, he needed a physical location. He couldn't run it from his backyard. Some HOA doesn't even allow it. He couldn't run it from his backyard because his state didn't allow it. And he couldn't run it from his backyard because the licensing requirements didn't allow it. So he had to swap it out. Now, what would be a swap that is in between a home office address and a physical brick and mortar location? Cue in the third type of address, and that's going to be the virtual office address, but not in the way that you're probably thinking. You see, most people set up their virtual office addresses and they go to any of the websites, right? You've probably seen them, in other videos, people talking about them. And they say, oh, like this one looks good. Let me just go ahead and slap this one on my LLC, or let me slap this one onto my corporation without first doing any type of due diligence. And so I want to give you a quick, like, back of the napkin math of due diligence that you can do, a quick checklist to make sure that you have the proper virtual office address if you decide to take that route for your business. The first thing that you want to do is, when you're setting up a virtual office address, is you have to be honest with yourself, and you have to ask yourself, if I were to set up my business, and if a business banker, or if the business credit bureaus, or if one of the vendors that I'm potentially doing business with, or a contractor, were looking at this address, could this legitimately be seen as a place of work for my industry? And only you can answer that. This is one of the first things that I walk my clients through when we're helping them get structured or restructured properly, because there's going to be instances where you can't use a virtual office address. That'll be the first thing. The second thing, if you're looking to get access to business capital, not all virtual office addresses are accepted by banks or credit unions or alternative financing options or funding options. And the reason for that is because they understand that this is just an address that's being used kind of like as a plug or as a middleman, like as a patch, to essentially as a bridge to go ahead and get access to funding. And so they've essentially said, hey, you know what? We understand how the game works. We'll run it through our algorithm and we'll see if it's a legitimate or an illegitimate virtual office address. And so a side step to that is the following. You'd want to structure your business in a way that allows you to use the virtual office address if you're going to use it for your line of work, and that allows you to use that virtual office address in place of a home address or in place of a brick and mortar location if you don't want to go out and lease a building. And one of the ways that you can do that is by making sure that your business, that your line of work actually checks all the boxes in terms of the structuring, so that you can go ahead and use that address in place of anything else that you would use. So Irv, what does this mean? Like, how can I actually apply this into my business? I'll give you an example. If I'm looking at I'll give you a real world example. If I have a auto shop or a construction business, I want to see, okay, what type of construction business do I actually run? Am I physically out there laying carpentry? Am I physically out there cutting wood? Am I physically out there maybe putting down pipes, whatever it is that you do? Or am I more on the management side? So can I structure my business that's more in line with I am overseeing the project, even though technically you're still doing a good portion of the projects? But if you're CEO/contractor, then you're still very much so owner operator. And so one of the things that you can do is one of the things that I've restructured with my clients is this is just one of many ways that we can do it is, hey, maybe the industry selection that you picked for your line of work isn't necessarily congruent for you to be able to use a virtual office address that allows you to open up checking accounts, that allows you to apply for business capital, that allows you to get access to some of the contracts or even partnerships that you're looking to get access to in a way that's legitimate. Let's go ahead and make the swap at the structural level that allows us to use this type of address. So now you're shifting from, let me just slap on any address onto my piece of paper, my LLC, my corporation, and okay, let me actually make sure that my business is dialed in a way where it makes sense to use a virtual office address that would allow me to get access to these products and that would allow me to scale my operations in a succinct way. And so if you found value in this video, then you'll probably find value in this video as well, which is where I walk you through how to get access to business capital in a way that allows you to get it at scale without breaking the business.